Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging, where in every episode, my guests and I, we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive impact in the world. Now, before I introduce today's episode and our expert guest, I have a quick question for you. If you've been wondering how well you are aging, I have the solution for you. You can go to our main website, agelesslivinglifestyle.com, and take our free aging assessment. And if you don't like the results, you can book a call with me and we'll discuss what challenges you're having, and I'll give you some quick and easy solutions to get you going on the right track. So I'm excited about today's episode. It's really an important one. The title is How to Prevent and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes Naturally Without Giving Up the Foods You Love. And our expert guest today is Dr. Nana Ama Quansah. She's a root cause care practitioner, a pharmacist, and blood sugar optimization expert who helps focused, driven individuals reclaim their energy, sharpen their focus, and restore long term health. She's the founder of Ditch Diabetes Academy, and she empowers clients to stabilize blood sugar, put type 2 diabetes in remission without restrictive diets, confusion, or burnout through her internationally recognized online program. She's also a doctor of pharmacies, and she brings experience from Fortune 500 healthcare companies, hospitals, personalized coaching, and she uniquely bridges the gap between conventional medicine and root causing healing. Dr. Nana, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Rico.
Oh, it's my pleasure because this is such an important topic, and so my very first question is, why has type 2 diabetes become such a modern day epidemic, and what is the percentage of people that have actually have diabetes now in America?
Yes, so diabetes is a serious public health crisis now.
Mhm.
So, right now, we are talking about one out of three people have prediabetes,
Oh,
and more than 80% don't even know they have it. More than 37 million people have diabetes, and this is largely type 2 diabetes, which is a lifestyle related illness, and this is even projected to increase in the next few years. So this is definitely a problem that we are having. It's spreading like wildfire, and we definitely have to do something about it.
yeah. Well, that's why I'm so happy to have you here, and I thank you for your good work because you're providing a great service. So my second question is, what are some of the biggest myths people have about type 2 diabetes?
Wow, this is a big one. So, one of the biggest myth that I have found is a lot of people think that diabetes is just a sugar issue, right? Eating too much sugar. And I will say that while sugar can play a role, it is not the full picture. So, if we think of only sugar being the cause of diabetes, then we are really oversimplifying what is actually going on in our body. So when you think of diabetes, really it is a complex issue.
Mhm.
Yes, sugar is not good to be eating often. It's harmful, obviously, especially if it's in a sweetened drink, if it's in packaged food and all that stuff. But in reality, blood sugar is just a symptom. It is not what is actually causing the problem. So I always like to use an analogy of a iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg is what is visible to people. The
Mhm.
tip of the iceberg is what people see. But what is underneath that iceberg is the real thing that is holding the weight. It is what is holding the imbalances that is actually driving the things that people see. So when you think about diabetes, this is you have to think about it as a complex issue that is embedded in underlying factors. Most people also think that is a genetic issue, right? Yes. And then some people also think that okay, once you're diagnosed, this is something that you have to have for the rest of your life. But because of this oversimplification of diabetes being a high blood sugar problem, that is what is causing this epidemic that we are seeing, right? Because we are just that narrow view is leading to a deeper misunderstanding of that illness as well. So these are few myths that I hear a lot of people say, but in reality, these are simply not true. You have to, it's something that you can, it's preventable, it's something that is reversible as well.
Yeah, really
under
well.
certain conditions and in many cases.
Yeah. Well, talk about what are some of the hidden causes of blood sugar issues and that people may not know about. What I've always heard that a lot of diabetes is caused by insulin resistance.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Is that
So
true?
that is yeah, that there's some truth to it. So it's not only that, but type 2 diabetes is mainly caused. So whenever people think of diabetes, like we mentioned, they only think, okay, it's the food, right? Or it's in my family, but that is not entirely the whole picture. So when you talk about imbalances from a functional medicine perspective, we are looking at factors that are actually aggravating the symptoms that you're having. And the symptoms in this case is high blood sugar issue, right? So when you think of imbalances that are driving this, one of them is poor gut health, right? If you
Yeah.
have, our gut is not just about digestion and it's not just about absorbing nutrient. Rico, almost 70% of our immune system is housed in the gut, right?
Hmm.
So if your gut is imbalanced, it's going to cause problems with insulin signaling. It's going to cause problems with inflammation, which later on leads to insulin resistance, which is a hallmark for type 2 diabetes. Another hidden root cause is inflammation, right? Chronic inflammation. When most people hear inflammation, they think it's a bad thing, but it's the chronic inflammation that is bad. Inflammation by itself is our defense mechanism. It's something that our body needs. So it's not entirely bad. When it becomes chronic, that's what causes the problem. And the chronic inflammation is really caused by all the things that we've been doing, the toxin exposure, the foods that we are eating, things of that nature as well. Another big hidden root cause of type 2 diabetes is toxin exposure. So we have toxins in our water, in our food, in our environment, and these actually affect the cells in our body, because when you think about it, the cells, they make up the tissue, right? The tissue make up organs make up organ system, and
Hmm.
then organ system make up the human being. So the health of the human being, if it's not healthy, we have to trace it back to the cells to figure out what is causing the cells to be dysfunctioned. And the cells are dysfunctioned from some of these hidden root causes that I just shared. Other ones are chronic stress, right? We always underestimate stress. And stress, if you're constantly stressed, it can increase something called cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and that can definitely affect your blood sugar levels as well. So there's so many root causes of type 2 diabetes. So for me, when someone comes to me with imbalanced blood sugar or high blood sugar problems, I don't just necessarily ask, what are you eating? Yes, that is important, but we still look at the stress. How's your stress like? What toxins are you exposed to? How does toxins play a role in it? How's your gut health? So these are some of the things that we need to be thinking about, because type 2 diabetes, it is not just a blood sugar issue. It is some imbalances that is driving you to have that symptom in the first place. Yeah, and also hormonal imbalances as well, especially for women that are more than 40 years and above. The fluctuations in estrogen, progestin, all these things, they all mess up the your ability your ability for your cells to react to insulin. So all these play a role in when it comes to diabetes.
So really, what it comes down to, it's really a lifestyle disease, just like most everything. And isn't it interesting, Dr. Nana, that uh, of all the things that we know that are good for our health, that we got to reduce the stress. We got to move our body. We got to eat healthy whole foods. We've got to get our sleep. All these things it's the same. No matter what kind of illness you have or chronic disease, all these things is it comes back to that
Yeah,
it comes back to your lifestyle and
exactly.
so all these things are really preventable and
And
treatable with
reversible,
a
yeah.
healthier lifestyle. Isn't that
I
right?
100% agree. And when most people, they ask, oh, is it reversible? I would definitely say yes, but under certain conditions. So think of it as an infection, right? Once you get an
Mhm.
infection, you have the right tools and support to make it go away, right? But just like an infection, if you still get exposed to the things that trigger that infection, you will have it again. So when it comes to people talking about reversal, put it in remission, It only works if it's sustainable habits. So if you having habits that are sustainable, this is not the ones that you have to go on the quick diet and the trendy things that are happening. It's more about building sustainable habits, because really our body has a natural way of healing. Right. And if you support it with the right environment, like you mentioned, it definitely can heal on its own. So that is what people have to pay attention to. It's definitely something that is preventable, and it's definitely something that you can put in remission. So when people say that, oh, my doctor said not to, this is something I'm going to have for the rest of my life, I always say no, because your body can actually work with you and help you be on that journey to transformation as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, so well said. Yeah, I think the message, that's the message we want people to know, that everything can be reversed and can be treated naturally. As
Mhm.
you know, unfortunately, mainstream allopathic doctors, they're so busy and they're so controlled by the big pharma that that's just what they do. If you have
Yeah.
diabetes, here's a prescription, you have to take this. And they don't consider the whole, your lifestyle habits or your holistically.
Yeah,
So that
exactly.
so that's what work you're doing is so important and so good.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I want to let people know, be sure and stay tuned to the end. We're going to let you know how you can attend. Dr. Nana has a new summit coming up. It's called Redefining Diabetes Summit, which is really going to give you all the information and what you really need to know to make a big difference. So we'll let you know how you can join that in just a few minutes. And so I have a short message for people, and then when we come back, we'll talk with Dr. Nana about some of her protocols, and how she works with people,
Mhm.
and naturally, and all some really good information of what you can begin to do yourself as well. So we'll be back in just 60 seconds.
Now, in just 17 minutes, you can get and stay fit and look and feel your best for life. This will be a life-changing and life-saving experience for you. Yes, it's true. Scientific studies have shown the Fast Fit 17 system is the fastest way to achieve maximum results in the shortest amount of time. This is a true fitness breakthrough. This system was developed particularly for busy people over 40 who know they need and want to get into better shape and have more energy, but feel they don't have the time. Now, time is no longer an issue. We want everyone to take advantage of this fitness breakthrough. So, for a limited time, you can get the entire program for only $17. So don't miss out. Order now at fastfit17.com.
All right, we are back with Dr. Nana, and she's a diabetes expert. And now we're going to get into, let's talk a little bit about well, first of all, your protocol, and then also what people can begin to do naturally themselves to start to put their diabetes in remission.
Yeah, so the first thing I want people to know is, type 2 diabetes or even overall diabetes, it's not a one size fit all, right? So obviously the approaches will not be the same for everybody. I always say that you have to identify what is aggravating your symptoms first. It could look different for everyone. Yours could be chronic stress, mine could be gut. So it's not something that has to be the same protocol for everybody. So when people come to see me, the first thing we do is to identify the potential root cause of that individual, and that can be assessed through the symptoms that they are having, and we do a really comprehensive evaluation for that based on what they say, symptoms of that nature. And then we also do advanced testing just to hone down the real root cause of the to see the imbalances in their system, because the truth of the matter is the basic labs that most doctors do in the traditional health, it's not designed to catch imbalances. It is actually designed when the diagnosis has already unfold. So if you already have diabetes, that's when it shows that you have diabetes, but it will not tell you the imbalances that you were having few years or decades
Mhm.
ago. So after we identify that, then I also use something called the balance method, which is basically a framework. It's a natural framework that we use. And after we know the real root cause of that individual, we talk about the balance method, which is basically dealing with different pillars of health, the nutrition, mindset, movement, gut health, and things of that nature. So that's what I basically focus on. So to give you an example, the first thing practically for the audience that is listening to, you always want to make sure that you assess your nutrition, because it's very important. When I say nutrition, it has to be a balanced meal. It's not just lowering your carbs. So there are certain types of carbs that you have to use. I think that people have been indoctrinated to believe that
Yeah.
carbs is what causes diabetes, but fiber rich carbs is your secret weapon when it comes to getting on this journey. So these are the types of carbs that you have to eat. You also have to make sure you're incorporating proteins and healthy fat as well. Right, this is very important. Getting rid of the refined sugar. I'm pretty sure the audience is really aware that refined sugar, processed meals, and things like that are not good. So I'm gonna assume that everybody knows that now, right? Because you have to get rid of that. Those are not nutrient dense. Those have zero calories. They don't do anything for you. They don't have any nutrients that your body needs. So you always have to assess your nutrition, and gut health is very important as well. You have to make sure you're balancing your gut, right? Some of the things that you can do is take doing some fermented foods, some probiotics. But when I say that, I'm not just saying generic probiotic. You have to know what bacteria is imbalanced in your body first before you go take any probiotic. Because sometimes if you just taking probiotics off the counter, it might actually make it worse for you. So you have to be working with someone who understands how the gut works and what your imbalances are, so they can personalize it for you.
Dr. Netta,
Obviously,
on that point of gut health and probiotics, talk a little bit about some of the causes that we get such poor gut health, and one of them is taking too many medications, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. And also, Rico, we all have like a lining in our gut, right? And this lining actually serves as, I would say, like a filter. So it prevents all the undigested foods, toxins, all these stuff from getting into our bloodstream. But when the lining of that gut get compromised, and this is from the bad food that we eat, the processed food, stress, things of that nature, that lining can get compromised. And that's what people hear leaky gut. I don't know whether you've heard leaky gut, but that is leaky gut. So when you have that, all the tight junctions are now easily to penetrate through. So now every and anything is passing through your bloodstream. So that serves as like a threat to the body. So now it leads to chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation leads to insulin resistance, and then that also obviously develops into type 2 diabetes. So gut health is very important. Also, like you mentioned, medications can cause that. It can mess up all the lining and things that we have in our gut that is supposed to protect us. So these are things that are very important when it comes to gut health optimization. It helps a lot.
Okay.
And I want to say this to your audience. Many people think, they probably have heard things like kombucha and things like that. That is, you have to have a personalized care, because kombucha is quite acidic, right? So if
Yeah.
you're a person that is dealing with GERD, is dealing with some kind of acid stomach problem, it might not be a good option for you. And a lot of them to have hidden sugars. So it's very important for you to read the labels, right? So it's not something that you hear on social media and just go by. So these are something. Nutrient deficiency is also a big thing. So if you're deficient in vitamin B, chromium, magnesium, these can also make it difficult for your body to regulate blood sugar as well. So these
Yeah.
are some of the practical things that you have to, look at and make sure that you are getting a personalized care for, so you can be on the journey to transformation. Obviously, stress is a big one as well. So we, in the past, we thought working late and all that stuff, it's a good thing, but it actually eventually messes us up. So you have to be able to identify what your stress is, right? Know what actually is causing stress in your life, and create a plan to rectify that issue. If yours is mindfulness, meditation, things of that nature, that definitely helps us. So I use a balance acronym, and the B is Breathe deeply to reduce the stress. The A is assessing your meals. The L is load up on fiber. A is add proteins to your meals. Another A is also to add movement into your meals as well. And N is nurture your gut. And then this E is ensure sleep optimization. So you also want to make sure that you have at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It's very important.
Yeah, that's such great information. I just
Yeah,
want to add, yeah, we now know that whatever manifests in our physical body begins in our mental emotional state.
absolutely.
So almost all chronic illness begins with stress. So that's such an important thing to get
Yeah.
a hold on. Well, we just had about 4 minutes left, so talk a little bit about your summit that's coming up, and we'll let people know. Well, we'll go ahead and let people know right now. The address for your uh, it's what is the address for your summit?
So the summit name is called Redefining Diabetes Summit, and I'll share the link with you so you can
Yeah,
put it under
yeah,
the note that you have. But
okay.
the Redefining Diabetes Summit, it's really, I know the name has diabetes in it, but it's for almost every individual that is dealing with metabolic health problems. So blood sugar is not just for people that have diabetes. If you have low energy, chronic fatigue, frequent headaches, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all these are blood sugar related. Even when you have mood swings, right? These are all blood sugar cravings. These are
Hmm.
all blood sugar cravings. So, yeah, if you're having all these challenges, I need you to register. So, we have guided top expert, 14 plus expert to come together and share science backed strategies to help individuals uncover more of the root causes that I was talking about, and also to give them strategies that will help them be on the path to remission with all these illnesses that we mentioned earlier. So it's going to be good. It's launching April 21st, and we have about 14 plus speakers that are, coming. These are interviews. You don't have to be there live. It's recorded interviews. So, and it's complimentary. It's free. So you can definitely, tune in, watch it from the comfort of your home in your pajamas. You do not have to show up live. You can just watch it anytime and any day as well.
Yeah, that's so good. And we'll put how you can join that summit in the show notes here. Let's see here. Well, we've just got about a couple minutes left, so maybe what would you tell people what they should start doing right now? What are the top three things you would say to recommend for people to start doing right now to begin uh, 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 trying to have remission for their diabetes or for high
I would
blood sugar?
say pay attention to your stress and sleep and also mindset. But because before you can reverse anything, your mindset has to be good. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to understand that your body is a healing mechanism. And when you support it with the right things, you definitely can heal anything that is troubling you. So I want them to make sure that their mindset is set to, and this is something that we're going to be talking about in the summit as well. Sleep is very important. Gone were the days when we were not sleeping, but sleep is quite important now. So I want everybody to at least have 7 to 8 hours or even 9 hours of sleep. Yeah. And I want to share with your audience that your body is not broken. Okay, you are not alone in this season of your life. Pre-diabetes, diabetes, consistent cravings, all these are things that can be reversed, and if you give it the right tools, if you give it the right support, you'll be able to overcome these things. So I don't want people to have guilt. It's more about liberation. There are things that you can do to take back your health. So I want to leave them with this encouraging message as well. There's definitely hope.
Yeah, that's such a great message, and thank you very much for that. Okay, so the first one was to really get a handle on your stress, on your stress, and then of course we talked a lot about nutrition, how important it is, but we did mention in the title without giving up your favorite foods. So just talk a
Mhm.
little bit about that, because maybe
Yeah.
some people's favorite foods are not what they should be eating.
No, we
Hold
don't
on.
want that. So that's basically getting to the root problem. Once you really get to the root issue of your problem, you will be able to not, I mean, we're not advocating for you eating refined sugars and processed food, but people that are on restriction, like, I don't want to mention all the restrictive diet out there, but if you're really restricting yourself, not eating carbs and all these things, these are not sustainable. These are short-term fixes, right? So if you get to the issue that is causing the imbalance in your system, you will be able to not you don't want to have to do no restriction. It's not dependent on any restriction. You can actually eat your cultural foods, the foods that are healthy, and then brings, people together and things of that nature. So once you're able to identify imbalances in your system, you will be able to avoid the restrictions that a lot of people are dependent on.
Dr. Nana, thank you so much for some great information and for the great work you're doing. I really appreciate you being here. And so today, if you like today's show, tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. And I like to end all our shows with we give you lots of knowledge, but knowledge without action is useless. So take knowledge on what you heard today, and be sure and check out Dr. Nana's uh, diabetes summit that's coming up. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Sorry, I actually
You
uh,